Well, hello and welcome to a new video where we are going to test the Nvidia Quadro T2000 in Apex Legends, and that we are doing at 1080p, basically with competitive settings, so mostly on low except for this thing, this is on low, and this is deactivated, and the last four things which don't really affect our FPS are on high. So, right off the start, we are getting pretty playable 60 FPS up here in the aircraft, and that should only be getting better once we drop out. And I'm seeing we're having a terrible ping spike right now. Yeah, let's just hope it goes down eventually. But yeah, so far this is looking not too bad for the T2000. And you can see the graphics card is running at 40 watts. And this is inside a DELL Precision 5540. So it's a 2019 model, which features an i9-9088-0H, which is an 8-core 16-thread CPU. And yeah, we are having the perfect performance, which is designed for this machine, which is the 40 watts. You can't really enhance the performance by undervolting the GPU, since Nvidia Quadro GPUs really don't allow you to do that, to fill with anything actually. But if we are to see a constant 40 watts and 1770 megahertz, actually, that would be mighty fine, to be honest, because that is really good for this thin and light chassis, which is the same as the Dell XPS 7590, which is notoriously hard to cool its components. Which has a hard time to cool its components and usually throttles right off the start. So I am hearing some enemies nearby. But yeah, so far I am pretty happy with the performance we are seeing. What is going on? I guess it's a rave. And once again, I'm sitting behind the camera. I'm probably gonna die to the first opponent we meet, which is this rave here. But yeah, nevertheless, we're gonna try our best. But actually, what I want to see is how our performance will be once we actually drop from the sky. So I guess we can't see that anymore. But yeah, we are just gonna go and keep on watching the other guys then. Find out how they are doing and where they are going. Because yeah, I mean, you can see the i9 I have in here is running at the base clock speeds, which is actually something I did intentionally in throttle stop, where I limited the performance to the base clock speeds, which shouldn't actually affect the performance of the T2000, because 2.3 gigahertz with an 8-core i9 CPU should actually be more than enough to feed enough FPS to the T2000 in 1080p in Apex Legends. And yeah, for that we do also get a very low wattage on the i9, only 15 watts right now, which obviously helps immensely to keep this CPU cool enough in order for this machine not to throttle the GPU. So yeah, right now this is looking very good. And we're seeing obviously stable above 60 FPS on the ground right now. There isn't too much going on. Now there's something going on. As you can see, the FPS are dropping quite a bit to the 80s when she's fighting there, and to the 70s right now. And I guess you would see a bit higher FPS with a fully fledged GTX 1650 laptop, which is basically the same chip as this T2000 is. But if you do not have the throttling problem with the XPS, or rather with the precision that we are playing on right now, as it is right now, I think you will have a pretty good time in Apex Legends at 1080p. I mean, it won't be enough for you to actually, what we can try is just set everything to the absolute minimum and see if we will get even more FPS then. So now we have set everything to low. But yeah, as I said, that won't really affect your FPS anymore because we already had basically everything which was anyhow CPU and GPU demanding turned off or turned to low. So yeah, there wasn't any major FPS gains to be expected here. And I think you're losing out on so much visual quality if you play with the absolute lowest settings. I don't really think that is worth it for the trade-off for, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 FPS that you are losing. But yeah, nevertheless, you see that it actually does run really, really well. I mean, you won't get your 120 FPS or above 100 FPS, which most certainly would be great for a fast-paced FPS shooter like this one. But I guess sitting above 70 FPS all the time, and you could obviously use the if it's still there. Let me check the adaptive resolution here to get more FPS. But actually, this will turn on TAA anti-aliasing, and I don't really think that is worth it because you will lose a lot of clarity on your screen, which will make it even harder to spot enemies if the resolution is dropped down. So yeah, I think it would be best just to stick with this. And I'm pretty certain that it is a bit lower than the GTX 1650 that I tested in the XPS 7590. But I also did overclock that GPU in the system because obviously with the consumer chip that is possible. And yeah, I guess that's probably one part of why you are seeing higher FPS with that chip as compared to the T2000 right now. But yeah, generally these guys, if they are going into the grass, which is one of the hardest areas in this game actually, because grass for some reason is really hard, and you still see 100 FPS right now, I would say the T2000 is actually doing pretty fine. So yeah, I guess that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saw that you probably can play with your T2000 GPU. Because, yeah, even in fights, I guess it will drop, but we didn't see anything below 70 FPS in this game. So yeah, I guess that is a really good indication that you can run this game even a little bit competitively all the time.